Well, hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of Women Like Me Stories in Business. I'm your host, Julie Fairhurst. Today is such a treat for you. So hang in. You're going to get so much inspiration, so much wisdom from this podcast. So I want you to hang in there. So sometimes a woman spends years building, supporting, leading, pouring into everyone else, only to realize that her own voice and her own story and her own legacy matter just as much. So, in this episode, I'm joined by Meeka Caissie. Did I get your last name right? Yay. She's a speaker, a facilitator, an entrepreneur, and a woman who has spent more than 3 decades in the world of human potential. From co-founding a South Florida modeling agency to working across film, media, and music, and now serving as a senior leader with Tony Robbins, Meeka has built a life around helping people think differently, raise their standards, and take meaningful action. So this is a conversation that's about more than just success. It's about courage, truth, identity, leadership, and why women's stories are far more important that we just can't forget them. So if you've ever wondered whether your story matters, whether your story is worth preserving, and how to step into the woman that you are becoming, then this conversation is for you. So Meeka, I am just thrilled that you are doing this with me. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh my goodness, thank you. What an introduction. I appreciate it. I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So let's dive in. So I'm curious. You spent more than 3 decades in the business of human potential. What first drew you to that work?
Oh, great question. Well, I quit school at age 14 and I learned, I went to work. I thought work was going to be easier than the teachers. And I was rudely awakened. I ended up going back to school and then I quit again. And I realized that I was not conforming. I didn't want to sit there and none of the teachers wanted to answer me when I asked why something had to be a certain way or why I had to think a certain way. And I really didn't like this person at the front of the room telling me who I was, what I needed to do, and how I needed to do it without explaining themselves. They hadn't earned my trust. And that really put me into at age 17, I was on my own. I left home and got myself a bartending job under the table. I wasn't even legally allowed to work at that age, but I convinced this really kind man to hire me. And I learned about real life and real people, and that circumstances are what lead us to the way we believe, the actions that we take in the world. And I started to get really curious about it at a very young age. I think, honestly, it was in, I give my parents a lot of credit because they weren't micromanagers. They had their own life and they were busy doing their own thing. They were hippies. And I had a lot of freedom as a young child to express myself. And that led to curiosity and curiosity and curiosity. And in some areas, curiosity was really appreciated and invited. In other areas, like school, curiosity was condemned. And, you know, I got curious about it. So that's really where it began. I think just not wanting to be like everybody else, even though we're all so similar in many ways. There's a lot of ways that I recognize that we're also very different, and I'm not special. You know, everybody has that ability to think different, to operate different, and yet the human psyche is trained us to follow along, to ducks in a row, do what you're told. And no matter the consequence, I've been quite defiant.
Well, and not everybody learns the same way. Yeah, I remember driving a math teacher crazy saying, but I don't understand how you get that. And he's like, well, you just do this, this, this. And I'm like, well, but how do you get that? Like, why does it end up being that? And he's like, but yeah, not everybody learns that same pathway. Yeah.
Yeah, and I learned that recently, I must share, working with Tony Robbins. He talks a lot about the masculine and the feminine. And I learned masculine and feminine being girls and boys. And he teaches masculine and feminine being it's an essence. It's an innate, a DNA, a genetic. It's men are wired, their brains are wired straight. Women's brains are wired curved. It's
Yes.
and so getting understanding that the masculine is very focused. They're the hunters. You know, if you go back
Yes.
1,000 years, they're out there hunting with a narrow focus. The women are in the tribe making noise, communicating, coaching each other, serving each other. And it's very different. And when we show up in life expecting the men to think and act like the women, and they think that we're talking too much because they just like to be quiet and one focus, and they can't understand how we have so many focus, and we don't understand why they can only focus on one thing. And I'm generalizing.
Of course.
And that is just that leads to learning different.
Hmm.
It really does. We learn different.
Yes.
It's amazing. And once we understand that, we can release the self judgment, the guilt, the shame, the what's wrong with me, that little voice that says I should know this, and why am
Yeah.
I different? And because we're all different, because it
Yes.
takes, you know, there's, because you are different.
Yes,
And
exactly.
that's a
It's
good
simple as
thing.
that. Oh. Well, what helped you step more into the visible leadership's role? Because you started behind the scenes. Yeah. So what helped you to get more visible?
Yeah, well, I actually started in front of the camera, and
Oh.
then I got excited about working behind the camera, and I find
Uh,
myself now with a happy medium. Um, I think because I was 5'10" and I was scouted as a model very, very young. When I was 13, my mom was a model. She was on the cover of magazines when I was just a young baby. We did actually a Tampax commercial together. I was 6 months old, and she was holding me, and that's kind of where
oh.
it started. And then eventually I recognized that they didn't want to hear me what I had to say. I was a figurine, and I'm not complaining. I got paid a lot of money for it, and I loved being in the spotlight. But there came a point where I said I have things to offer here, and in the role that I was in, nobody was interested. That wasn't the role of an actress or a model. That was the role of a director or a producer or an executive producer. And that's where I really started to burn and think I want to add value. And being a part owner in this modeling agency in South Florida, I had a good mix of behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. And I'll share something, I don't share it very often, but that school, we would sell classes on how to work in front of a camera. And my role in that school, outside of modeling and model scouting, was to work with women on a runway to teach them confidence. And I recognized that it didn't matter if you were 95 pounds or 305 pounds. Confidence came from within. Confidence came from a belief. Confidence came from the way we stand. And I got to work with these women on this runway. I was only 21 years old. And the lessons that I learned getting into the minds and hearts of these women that were beautiful and didn't know it, didn't believe it, whether it was a boyfriend or a teacher or a parent or an uncle, somebody had grilled into them that they started to believe that they weren't enough, or that
Mm.
what they had to say wasn't valuable. And that stirred something up in me, the nurturer in me, the lover in me, the teacher in me, to really start working with these women beyond the physical. And that's, I think that's really where it began. And again, in that industry, they didn't want to hear, when I was modeling or when I had a part in a film, they didn't want to hear about my psychology passion, or the
Mm.
the seeing things in that industry. There was so much drugs and alcohol and depression and things in that industry because, well, there's a myriad of reasons. And I just felt this innate need to love them and to see them and help them discover what was really going on. Why are your drugs are a coping mechanism. You're not happy. Your divorce is, you're putting yourself into promiscuous situations that you're not thinking. Your other parts of your body are doing the thinking for you. And we get into this rhythm, and then there's shame, and then there's self-doubt, and it's a spiral. And I just became so fascinated with the psychology of people that I eventually ended up leaving the industry and going back to school and studying psychology, because the amount of people that were sad and divorcing and cheating and drug addiction, and it just broke my heart. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, many women in my audience have spent years caring for others, working hard, putting themselves last. What do you think most women need to hear right now?
That you might think you're putting yourself last. And sometimes the world will convince you that you're putting yourself last. Your friends might convince you. The truth is, as I know it, my belief, my experience, of course, I'm only coming from my lens,
Yes.
is that by serving others and supporting others, it is actually serving ourselves. If we're pouring our love and our light and our heart into our children, into our husbands or wives or careers, it's because we're getting something back. We are getting fulfilled in a way. And if we could shift the focus from what we're giving up to what we're gaining, that 2 millimeter shift can change everything. That story that we often tell ourselves about doing everything for everyone else and unveiling, wow, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? There's definitely something in it for you, or you wouldn't do it. We don't walk in front of a car that's driving down the street unless we have the outcome of ending up in the hospital. It's trusting ourselves and being willing to look at, I believe that we have what Tony calls an emotional home. And if you think about it, what are some of the top 5 emotions that we turn to on a daily basis? There can be, oh, I'm guilty, or I'm shame, or I doubt myself, or I'm in fear, or I'm sad, or I'm depressed, or I'm whatever those go-to emotions are on a regular basis. Then we think about the flip side. What are some of the joyful emotions that we feel on a regular basis? And 9 times out of 10, we recognize that the number 1 and number 2 emotion that we go to most often throughout the day are not positive emotions, and they're habits.
Right.
So becoming
Yes.
aware of that emotional home, that place that we go to that's familiar, even if we are feeling overwhelmed, if that feeling of overwhelm is familiar, even though we know it's not healthy, we can go there because it's familiar, because it's comfortable. And if we go even deeper, sometimes it's because then we get to be right about having something wrong with us. And sometimes that can connect us to a parent that told us something was wrong with us. So in this strange way, we're actually feeling connected with a loved one by feeling a negative thought because our belief about ourselves came from someone else imposing that negative thought on us. And it's actually a way that we can connect with people.
Well, thank you for that, because quite often that will come up in conversations that I have with people that we're talking with, and no one has ever said it like that. No one has ever said, "Well, what are you gaining from this?" I love that. I love it. It's just start to ask different questions. Yeah, yeah. It's simple things. Yeah. Well, what do you say to a woman? I'm curious what you're going to say about this. What do you say to a woman who feels she's missed her moment, or it's too late for her to do meaningful work?
It's only too late if you say it's too late.
Meeka, this is much too easy of a conversation.
I mean, you're
Yeah,
in control.
yeah,
You're the boss of you. You
yes,
get to decide. You may allow other people to make decisions for you, and notice you're allowing it. Sometimes the decisions are crappier and crappiest.
yes,
We're still getting to decide.
yes,
There's going to be a consequence to everything that we do. We're choosing which consequence we want. Most times, of course, there's
yes,
always the horrific experiences that children, for example, are in situations that they really are out of control.
yes, of course.
And
Yes,
I believe that as adults, especially as women, we are in control. Even in the worst of situations, we do get to decide. And decision. It is so important, and it's a muscle that we get to exercise. Decision is a muscle. Sometimes we're really good at deciding for our children what's right and wrong, what's good and bad. I like to say what's effective and ineffective. Is this effective? Is this working towards what you want, or is this moving you away from what you want? You're deciding all the time.
yeah, you're right. Yeah. And you might not think that you're deciding, but by staying where you are is also a decision.
It's also a decision, and that is where I see most women give their power away. Something
Mhm.
as simple as saying, I can't. So you're invited to dinner and you don't want to go. Oh, I can't. Actually, I just don't want to go.
Yes.
And we can find ways of saying it that are not mean or offensive or cruel, and owning ourselves. I so often we're wanting to please other people, and it's at our own values, our own
Yeah.
cost of our own self-respect, our
Yes.
own self-worth, our own pride. And we've been taught that pride is wrong. A lot of people have been taught that pride is wrong. Pride is knowing yourself. In my world, pride is a sense of leadership. It's owning, it's taking responsibility. Even if you're saying that you don't want to do something, how much more powerful is that than saying you can't? To say you can't, it immediately takes away your power. Yes, you've got 3 kids, you got $5 in the bank, the child wants to go to the water park, and your instinct is say you can't, we can't afford it. How about, how can I afford it? How can I afford it? What can we do differently? Sweetheart, the water park is an option later on. Right now, it's not going to work. It's so different than I can't. Can't is so
Yes.
disempowering. And
Yes.
it's a word that I often use with my ladies group is we do squats if we use the word can't. It's 20 squats.
Oh,
And you notice quickly when your thighs are burning how
yes.
often you're using that word. So the
Yeah.
benefit is you get better thighs.
Yes. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
really start noticing. You
Yes.
really start noticing.
Yeah.
So our
Yes.
words are,
Yeah. And I think that like the example that you just gave about the water park, when you say I can't, excuse me, it's defeating to the child, I think, or to the person who you're saying we can't. But when you put it the other way, that's not for today, but we will. Or however, it's just it takes that I can't away. So you don't grow up thinking, oh, we can't afford it, I can't do it. It's very disempowering.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
There are so many things we do as women that give away our power, and nobody
Yes.
can take your power away. I'm very clear about that.
Yeah.
We give it away. I was in a
Yes.
conversation this afternoon with somebody who was saying, you're making me late for something. And I'm like, hold on a second. There's no chain on you. There's no leash on you. There's no weapon to your head. Like, if you need to leave, you leave. I am not taking responsibility for you being late. That's
Yes. Yes.
there's a polite way of saying, "Oh my gosh, we're in this deep conversation. Can we hold this for let's
Yeah.
book a time to finish this. I really want to go. It's important to me that I'm on time. I honor my
Yes.
word. It's my reputation. I love you. Let's continue this later. I gotta go."
Yes.
There's so many things we can do.
Yes.
And then we feel so like, yeah, I'm in control.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. You are described as a courageous truth teller. Now we can tell that by the short time we've been together here so far. What does telling the truth really require from a woman?
Courage and the
Courage.
willingness to not be liked, the
Hmm.
willingness to be wrong.
Hmm.
Our truth is our truth. It's not the truth. I'm not God. I'm not spirit source, whatever you believe in. I have my truth based on my experience, based on my lens, what's been experienced as pain for me, what's been experienced as joy for me. Those are all through my experiences. And that's it.
Well, that makes sense. Courage. Yes.
I mean,
No, absolutely, because and for all sorts of reasons, we fear that.
we want to be liked.
Yes.
We want to
Yes.
be liked. We're human beings that are, especially females, we're tribal.
Yes.
We want community, and we're so conditioned to belong. And if we rupture the sense of belonging by speaking a truth that it risks not being in alignment with somebody else, then there's judgment imposed by others and on ourselves. And
Yeah.
that takes a willingness to be alone, a willingness to be, again, wrong. It boils down to courage. It really does. And the opposite of courage is not cowardice. The opposite of courage is conformity.
Hmm.
And we are so conditioned from the school years. We wake up to an alarm. We go to school, we sit down to a bell, we ask to go to the bathroom, we have a bell for lunch, we have a bell to come back for lunch, a bell to go home, we have a parent telling us when to go to bed, and an alarm clock to set us up again. Our entire lives, for the first 18 to 20 years of schooling, are conditioning. We are conditioned, like Pavlov's dog, we are conditioned to do what we're told to do, to sit quietly, to get your homework on time, to eat during this time. We might not be hungry from 12 to 1. If the school says 12 to 1 is lunchtime, we're eating from 12 to 1.
Yes.
So we're conditioned, and it's unlearning. Bob Proctor, one of my greatest mentors, shared with us that 85% of our life is learning, 15% of our life is unlearning. It's the other way around. By the time we get to 18 years old, 85% of our decisions are already made. We're programmed, and then we spend the rest of our lives working hard to reverse those programs.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. From 0 to 4, 50% of our makeup, our decisions are made, our beliefs about fire, color, smell, they're developed before the age of 5. So we're unlearning. We like certain things. We don't even know why we like them. We've been programmed.
Hmm.
And it's as soon as you become aware of that, you're like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I really want to learn. What do I like? What don't I like? How come I like
Yeah.
this person? How come I don't like this person? Like, get curious about it. Get curious.
Yeah.
Instead of conforming and saying yes to things you don't want to say yes to, get curious about why don't I want to say yes? Why, if that person is I'm feeling affected by what just was said or what I just saw. What's that about? What is that about? What button did I just allow to be pressed? What is
Yeah.
it? Like, get curious about yourself and
Yeah.
others. I also believe that we're mirrors for each other. If
Yes.
somebody says something or does something and it really irks you, there's a chance that you do that. And that's
Mm.
why it irks you.
Yeah. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just so we have to take responsibility, and it
Yes.
takes courage. It
It
takes,
does.
it's so easy. The one finger out is the three pointing back. It's the oldest thing in the book. But you're this. It's like, ooh,
Yeah.
wait.
Wait a minute. I got to stop that.
I get
Yeah.
to stop. That's another thing Tony taught me that was really impactful. I'd love to share with your viewers is
Yes.
that we don't have to do something. We get to.
Yes.
I don't have to do my laundry. I get to do my laundry. I have a laundry machine. I put dirty things in there. I hit a button and I come out clean for the most
Yeah.
part. I
Yeah.
get to load my dishwasher. I
Yeah.
get to go for a run because I have legs.
Yeah.
Like if we change the I have to I get to. I don't have children. I desperately wanted children. And I understand it's the grass is greener on the other side. A lot of parents, so you can have mine. And at the end of the day,
Mm.
I get to put my kids to bed. I get to stay home with my child. If we're willing to make that 2 millimeter shift, and that's all it is in everything, we can be so joyful, so
Yeah.
empowered, and then we lead. When we're empowered, we lead others.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are looking for certainty. The world is screaming for leadership right now,
Yeah.
screaming for leadership, women to
Yes.
lead, men to lead. Our environment has conditioned us to belittle men because it's women's time to rise. Ladies, we need our men, and we need our men to be men. We need our
Yes.
men to be confident, to lead, to provide, not because we can't provide, not because we're not able to provide, because it's nice, because it gives them purpose. Let them be our heroes. Of course, we can
Yes.
open our own door.
Yes. Yes.
Let them open
Yeah.
the door.
Oh, I want to tell you something. I had in my 28 years of being a single mother, I never and I had many boyfriends, but I never let them buy me things. I was uncomfortable having them pay the bill, and I had to sit back and say to myself, "Okay, Julie, what is happening here? Because this is, somebody wanted to buy me a gift. I'm in the store. I'm actually going into panic mode. I don't want you to buy me anything." And so I realized from doing some work what that was all about. And so I took a sabbatical of men, so didn't date for quite a while. And then when I started again, I knew what I wanted, and I wanted to be treated kindly, and I wanted to be treated. And so I found my husband, and we love each other, and we've been married for 15 years. I have never paid a restaurant bill. I refuse. Now, yeah, it's coming out of the same bank account. It's not like, I could easily pay, but I like watching him pay. Even saying that just I get emotional because I want to be treated. I want to be treated. There's nothing wrong with that. And I let him open the doors where before I would just be, I don't need, I love that he opens the doors for me. Just those little things. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
thank
beautiful.
you. But it took time. I had to realize obviously I'm the common denominator. I have a problem, but then I knew enough that I wanted to fix it because I didn't want to keep being this way. Yeah. And then the universe brought me somebody that was going to just treat me. And I love it. And it was interesting. We went for dinner with about 8 other couples one night. They were all friends of his from work. And when everybody was paying, of course I wasn't paying, but he elbows me and he goes, "Look around the room." And I didn't quite know what he's talking about. I go, "What?" And he goes, "Not one of those men are paying." And I thought, that's sad. And it was true. Then I looked, every wife was paying the bill. Yeah, whatever, but let
I'd
themselves
love to
be,
dig into that. I mean, I would love to dig into that.
yeah,
I
let people
really
be
believe
treated.
that is society, that is the news, that is the media, that is all of these separation, these divisions of there's this group and this group and this group and this group and this group, and we think that it's, I mean, if I've never seen more division in my life, and that lands in our laps as well as men and women who are co-creating and coexisting. And again, it's not about what's right and wrong. It's how do you feel? I love
Yes.
when you said, I want to be treated.
Yeah.
And for the most part, men want to treat us. Women want to feel safe. Women's number one thing, okay, this is a Tony lesson that is grilled into me that I believe women need to hear. And it's women's number one is needing to feel safe. And men's
Mhm.
number one is needing to feel like a hero. They
Mhm.
want us to tell them how amazing they are and how we appreciate them. If we go back thousands of years, the men were the heroes banging their chest. And yes, there can be too
Yeah.
much masculinity and it gets out of balance. And it can also go the other area, the other end, where we want to take control everything. We want to
Mhm.
take control over the bill. We want to take control over opening the door. We want to take control over ordering the food. And we think that we're doing something. And my experience is that comes from fear. Control comes from fear. And if a
Yes.
woman wants to feel safe, a woman has got to allow her man to protect her. And this
Yes.
might create a lot of controversy with people on your show. And I'm willing to have conversation with them to go down the rabbit hole and look at the species of man and woman
Mhm.
versus what we're learning about man and woman in the media today.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
masculine and feminine. It's not man and woman. It's masculine and feminine. And
Mhm.
when the masculine is masculine, when the man truly, the masculine is protecting the feminine and the feminine feels safe, the feminine will open to the masculine. And the masculine then can provide, and the feminine can then adorn the hero who's provided and created that safety.
Yeah.
We have really fallen out of that. And
Yes.
women are
Yeah.
wanting to take control, pay the bill, even if it's from the same account, pay the bill. There's fear there.
Yeah.
Just be
Yeah.
willing to, if it doesn't land on your audience that that is a truth, I invite you to consider it,
Yes.
to dig into it, to do a little research on the masculine, feminine, and learn a little bit more about how the wiring is different. How the, I mean, girls, we have vajayjays and they got pepees, you know? We are different. I don't want chest hair.
No.
I want my man to have chest hair, though.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Love that. Thank you for, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And it's important for them.
Oh,
We take it away from them is what we do.
we do. And
Yeah.
then what are they
Yeah.
left with? There's
Yes.
no purpose. And this is how the
Yeah.
men are spiraling right now. And
Yeah.
it's an epidemic. Unfortunately, one of my close girlfriends just 2 days ago, her brother committed suicide. And
Oh.
this is the third one in the last 3 months that I've heard of. The men are
Oh.
struggling. The
Yeah.
men are struggling. They're feeling unwanted, unneeded. They're where do I belong? You don't want me to open your door. You don't want me to pay for you. So then I'm what's the point of me getting a job? The media convinces them they're never going to own a home. So then why do they bother
Yes.
even trying? And it's
Yes.
this spiral effect that
Yeah.
we must pour our love, our nurturing. The feminine is the nurturer. We're the lover. We're the, we've
Yeah.
got breasts that have milk to
Yes.
nurture.
Yes.
And we've
Yes.
lost connection with that. I think we've
Yes.
lost connection with that.
Yeah.
And the sexes are lost. Women aren't
Mhm.
feeling safe. Men aren't feeling appreciated. And there's a hopelessness, there's a disconnect, and it's showing up our governments are having to seek military from other countries because the men here are not stepping forward. They're in a lot of the at home with their parents, and it's
Yeah.
not the fault of the parent.
Yeah.
It's a cultural
Yeah.
displacement. It's a media mess, and we, though, as women, we are so powerful when we own it. When
Yeah.
we, they say the man is the head of the house and the woman is the neck. Why? Because we get to choose where they're looking. We have more power than we know. But it's like that movie, the Fat Greek Wedding, and
Yes.
she's got the Windex. And
Yeah.
when we let the man believe, and this is controversial again, that they are the head of the house and they are pleasing us, they'll do anything. But
Yes.
ladies, we don't
Yeah.
even know what pleases us. How the heck are they supposed to figure out how to make us happy when
Yes.
we don't know what makes us happy? And
Yeah.
there's this spiral that just turns into so I can hear my grandfather now, old school, okay, and I can hear him, but he taught me, Meeka, ask the man to open the door for you. Give
Hmm.
him a role that puts a smile on your face. That's all
Yes.
he wants, is
Yes.
to make you happy. He just doesn't have a clue how. And we can make it
Yeah.
so easy.
We can. We can.
Or we can make
Absolutely.
it so hard, which we
Or
have been.
we can. Absolutely. Yeah.
We're like, it's us. It's our power,
Hmm.
and we're giving it away. It
Yes.
takes courage. It takes
Yes.
leadership. It takes not conforming to what the TV
Yeah.
and the YouTube videos of these women that are saying, oh, you can have this without giving up anything. Well,
Yeah.
that's called a scam.
Yeah. Yes,
It's give
exactly.
and take.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fabulous that's just great information. And I hope that I hope everybody actually, not some people, I hope everybody is going to listen to that and just sit back and think about, oh, yeah, is this what's happening in my house? Is this what's happening in my relationships? Because I agree. We can be the lead without overpowering.
Yes.
Yeah.
And without
Yeah.
saying we're the leader.
No, and without
Yeah.
saying it. That's right. We don't need to say it. We don't
We
need to
don't.
say it. Yeah. Well, I'd like to ask you about the group that you have founded. So, Ladies in Power. So, what is that all about?
Ladies in Power, the acronym is LIP. I'm going to have a sip of water.
Okay.
And it's all about what you say matters,
Mm,
what you don't say matters.
hmm.
You have a voice, use it. Speak
Yeah.
up. Learn courage. Be willing to fail forward. Be willing to be wrong. Be willing to be laughed at. Speak up. Speak out. Have a voice. Empower other women to have a voice as well. So often we came from community tribe where we all helped each other. If somebody didn't have meat because the hunter didn't return, somebody else would have meat, and we would share our meat. We would share in way back when, and we've lost that. We've become scarcity. We've become competitive. We've become not abundant in our thinking and in our relationships, unfortunately. And I don't even want to get into why. It just is
Yeah.
for the most part. And Ladies in Power is my intention, is a community of women that truly support each other, and hold space for each other when we're going through the shitstorm, that call each other out when we're not being in alignment. And I have a fuzz on my face. And to celebrate each other's victories. So often I don't want to talk about how happy I am in my relationship because everybody that I know is miserable in theirs and I
Mm,
feel guilty. Or I'm doing really well in my business and everyone is talking about how they're struggling. I don't want to share. And I come from a completely other place. Share, inspire, tell them what's working, give them hope, give them examples, give them support, encourage them. And so that's really what the group is all about. And I'll tell you, I have failed, flopped on my face. I've had women quit. I've had women tell me all the things that are wrong with me. I've had them make up stories about me that are out of this world. And I've chosen, many times I've wanted to just curl up in a ball, cry my eyes out, and quit. And say, why the hell am I doing this? You know, I pour my heart and guts into these women, and then and then I realize that that is their experience, their story, their stuff to get through. And I must persevere. I must keep coming from love, keep coming from compassion, and also be willing to look at what might be true in there. Where can I grow? Where can I be better? And that's why I've spent well over $500,000 on personal growth, because there is no reaching it. There's no getting there. And I wanted a circle of girlfriends that were on the path. Sage Robbins calls it sisters on the path. I wanted to create a community of sisters on the path. And it's not perfect, because we come in wanting that, often with our paradigms and our beliefs that that's not possible. And we bring our pain, and we bring our experiences in, and we bring our fears in, and often women will come in and rupture the community, not intentionally. It just happens. And it's my role to have courage and not quit, not give up, and keep that harmony. Allow the stuff to come in that will break it, and then we get stronger as we come together again. And over the last 13 years, that's what we do. They say when you break a bone and it heals, it becomes the strongest bone in your body.
Yes.
And that's what Ladies in Power is all about. And then it branched into, I launched a podcast called the Ladies in Power Podcast, LIPP. And we're 4 women from 4 different backgrounds that come together and talk about everything women. Today we talked about joy, we talk about retirement, we talk about pain, we talk about money. And it's fascinating because, you know, one of the girls is a doctor. One of them, 2 of them went to private schools and had maids and butlers. One of them escaped war-torn country. They've all got master's degrees and so on. And I'm a 2-time high school dropout that went back to school after a media career.
Yeah.
And so we have these dynamics that we bring in, and it just reiterates the beauty of women when we co-create and collaborate instead of compete. And it takes courage to do that. So yeah, thank you for asking. It's a passion project, and it also creates a space for me to get my feminine fix, my estrogen fix, and not bring it all to my masculine man who will patiently listen to it all if I need to unload. And he really appreciates when I share that with the girls.
Yes.
So the women are priceless. They challenge me. They inspire me. My gosh, I'm often the least educated, least wise in the entire group. I mean, I learn so much from their skills, their experiences, the humility, the courage, the wisdom. It's really special. Like you came and spoke to my group. It was such an honor to have you.
Oh.
You inspired so many of the women with your story who they had made up stories in their head that a podcast or a book had to look a certain way and the whole world would know their secrets. And one woman in particular, when you shared that story about the woman who didn't want to share her whole divorce and experience with her man, and you reframed it for her, and she recognized that it wasn't about the man at all. It was about the support system to get through that crap that she had with the man.
Yes.
You turned on, I have goosebumps right now.
Oh
my gosh. You lit up our whole group. I mean, that was a perspective that none of us had thought of. You've changed our world with that story. I'm so
Oh,
grateful, Julie. Like,
well, thank you
you're
so much.
amazing.
Oh, I appreciate you telling me that. Thank
Mm.
you. Thank you. So, her story in stone, what is that?
That is capturing women's stories. Oh, I had a fly. I have a fly come visit me. I've got fuzz on my
Yes.
face. I got a fly visiting me. I will share. I have this ready. So
Okay.
this here,
Ah,
this is my babcia, and
aw.
babcia is grandmother in Polish. And my grandmother was a prisoner of war.
Ah,
She was tortured and rescued eventually by my grandfather, hence I'm here. And when I went to Poland to find some family, okay, so my grandfather wrote this book.
oh,
I have lived 1,000 years. And he wrote it on his at the end of his life because he wanted everyone to understand his perspective of World War II, his
yeah.
family, his experiences, his strength. And I didn't know where my strength came from, where my tenacity came from, where my
Mhm.
courage came from, where my resilience came from, where this came from, this girl that didn't conform. I didn't understand where it came from. And reading my grandfather's book, I recognized, oh my gosh, my grandfather had a broken back, had a smashed in face. He swam across the Rhine River in the middle of the night in all of his gear when there were no more boats left and bombs were going off. My grandmother
Wow.
survived the torture. And I now know I dig deep inside of me whenever I have doubt, whenever I have fear, whenever I wonder, I think of them and I recognize I have their DNA, I have their blood, I am them, they are me. And I wouldn't know that if my grandfather hadn't written the book.
Right.
But not
Yes.
everybody wants to write a book. Or
No.
people say they're going to write a book and then they don't, and they come to the end of their life and they never wrote that book. And
Yeah.
that scared the crap out of me. I sent my mom this book that you fill out your favorite color, a great
Oh, yeah.
story, tell me about
Yeah.
this. She didn't fill it out. I sent her another
Oh,
one that was more colorful and more playful and bigger words, and she didn't fill it out. Third year in a row, I sent her another one, a smaller one. Maybe she didn't like the texture. Maybe she just, And I said, Mom, please, I want to know you some of your stories. And she's like, I'm not interested in writing in that book. So I
mm,
came up with the idea of sitting with people and recording their story on video and capturing the essence of them, capture their laugh, capture their stories, capture their courage, capture those. What meaning does this picture have? I mean, if this was just left behind in a photo album, I wouldn't understand that this is what kept her alive during the Nazi concentration camp.
yeah.
And so I feel a sense of responsibility now to interview women, capture their stories for them to have, for the next generation, for them to have for themselves. How often do women feel in the spotlight? I get to sit with a woman and they feel seen, they feel heard, they get
Yeah.
to reminisce stories that they forgot about, and we get to go back and forth for a few hours with very loose conversation like this one for
Yes.
hours and hours that is 100% about them. And at the end, they 9 times out of 10, they feel, wow, I've had a phenomenal life. I am so proud of myself. I am so
Hmm.
glad I did this. Oh my gosh, my great great grandchildren are going to know where this family heirloom came from, why it's
Yes.
important, who's this person in this black and white photo. So
Yeah.
there's so many reasons And I thought everything is about history, history, history. What about her story?
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
her story in stone because
Yeah.
I'm capturing it, and they will be
Yeah.
gifted a stone that has the story in it.
Wow. That is so beautiful, Meeka. Yesterday, I was on a podcast I did with a lady in the UK, and she's done some incredible things. But at the end of or almost at the end of the podcast, she started crying because she said, I never realized until I started talking about everything that I've been doing, I didn't realize what I've been doing. And now I got shivers, but she started crying and she said, yeah, I've done some like amazing things. She's helped 465 children in the UK understand that they're the hero of their own story. Yeah. So she's got quite a interesting, and it comes from, I'll just briefly, it
Yes.
comes from her child. She doesn't go into the background, but there's a court order where she can only see her child 1 hour a week on a Zoom. So we don't know any of the background, and there's a course that's happening. But she said to her, she thought, how am I going to make this 1 hour the best hour that it can possibly be? And so she said to her son, what do you want to tell me? And they started writing a story, and it ended up becoming a book. And so they've got a few now they get together 1 hour a week and they write books. And so she took that and she went into the school system. So, I mean, there's this horrible tragedy that's happening in her life, and she found a way to make it positive. And now it's flowed into, I can't remember what the program's, oh, Story Quest. So it's
Oh,
morphed into this school thing for young children to understand that that they get to write a story and they get to be the hero of their own story. It's just amazing. But she didn't realize the beauty and she didn't realize the depth until we really got into what she was actually doing. So I love that idea. I love what you're doing. It's so empowering.
mm. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
really passionate about it. And I just did an interview a couple of days ago, and this extraordinary woman, 70 years young, she looks not a day over 50, honest to God. She's so vibrant. Two grown sons, extraordinary. Both her parents have passed away. And she
Uh-huh.
had this belief system for her entire life that her mother didn't love her. She never
Oh.
felt her mother's love.
Mm.
And what we recognized, or what I, she gave me all this information through the weaving of this 3 hour share. And it was a couple of hours afterwards that I was putting some pieces together, and I asked her, I said, is it possible that your mother's love language was quality time, and your love language is touch? And
Mm.
so the connection you had with your father when he would put Vicks on your throat when you were sick, or he would rub your thumb when he was putting you to sleep, or you were going for a walk holding his big hands as a little girl, that you felt so connected to your dad because of that physical touch. And your mom didn't like physical touch, and your mom wanted quality time, but you didn't want quality time with your mom because you didn't feel love because she wasn't touching. But she had all this quality time with your brothers, and your brothers felt so much love, and that spiraled into you feeling like you weren't loved, and your mom loved your brothers more. And now your mom's passed away and you still have all this feeling that your mom never loved you. Is it possible that your mom's love language was quality time? And she had right there a complete breakthrough,
Wow.
and
Wow.
sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. And for the next day and a half, went on to share with me all these discoveries. Well, this meant this, and this meant that, and this meant, she gave new
Yeah.
meaning to
Yeah.
everything, and felt for the first time as a 70-year young woman that her mom loved her so deeply
Oh,
her whole life. I did not see that coming out of this interview.
no. Wow. So beautiful. So beautiful. And how wonderful
Mm.
that at 70 years old, that part of her soul's healed. Yeah.
And I
Like it's,
got to witness it.
yeah.
I
Yes.
got to witness it right
Yeah.
there. She's like, I can feel my mom moving through me, around me. I can feel her love. And from there, she was able to pull things out of boxes that she had tucked so deeply away in storage, and start pulling them out and putting them in frames and hanging them on her wall.
Oh,
Because of that time that she was just able to navigate through, and
yeah.
the training, the effective listening, and the courage to say to her, is it possible?
Yes.
So we play such a significant role as women, empowering women, being fully present, not coming in with an agenda, listening more than we're talking, which I'm not doing a whole lot of right now as a guest on your show.
Oh, that's
Um,
okay.
and I believe that every woman has it in them to
Mhm.
add more value than they could ever imagine if they give themselves permission.
Mhm. Yeah. Wow. Oh, Meeka, where can listeners connect with you and learn more about your work?
Oh, thank you. Ladiesinpower.ca is the best place to go. From there, you can contact me to book a call. The Her Story in Stone website is still being designed. And so I'm really excited about hosting these interviews. So if there's anybody locally, because I do it in person, I will come to your home and sit with you and help you find a space that you feel good in, and prepare you for it all. It's very easy. Um, I
And
promise you'll be at
you're in the
ease.
White Rock area of British Columbia, Canada, right?
I'm in White Rock. I drove to Summerland for my last interview. So it's, if you're within a 5 hour drive, I will come to you. I just, it's such important work. I wouldn't be the woman I am today if I didn't know where it came from. And those people are
Yeah.
all deceased. And so without this book, without the stories, I never would have known. And I really feel a calling. So ladiesinpower.ca, if you're interested in applying for my mastermind, or you want to follow our podcast. We don't do guests on our podcast because 4 women is enough.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
all the links are there. All the links.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lip.
Yeah.
They just think lip, LIP, Ladies in
Yeah.
Power. Yeah.
Well, I'll make sure that we drop the links in the show notes so that everybody can, anybody who's interested
Thank
can
you.
easily access them for sure. So, Meeka, before we go, I just would love to know, what legacy do you hope your own life leaves behind?
Her Story in Stone.
Mm, yeah. Yeah.
I really want to create a ripple effect. We all create a ripple effect. And that's where the
Yes.
stone comes in. You throw a stone in the water and you see the rings. We all create a ripple effect. The kind of ripple that we create is up to us.
Yes.
A
Yeah.
positive one, a negative one, a sad one, an abundant one. And my vision is to create a positive ripple effect with Her Story in Stone, to capture as many stories as I can, and to train other people around the world to do this. I want to train people to interview effectively and get as many stories as possible for the next 5 generations to come without AI. I don't use AI. I don't want to change anybody's
Yeah.
voice. I don't want to change
Yes.
anything. That's very important to me. And
Yes.
so I think that is the legacy, is that I helped women recognize that they really matter, that your life matters, you matter. Yeah,
Yeah.
you matter. That
Yeah.
will be on my gravestone. You matter.
Yes. You matter. Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, Meeka, thank you so much for being willing to do this. I have just loved our time together, and one of the great things about me getting to talk to people like you is that I get to learn all sorts of new things. So I've got some things in my brain that are going as well. So I appreciate that so much. And for all of you out there, take advantage of snooping around and seeing what Meeka might have to offer, if there's any way that she can help you as well. And again, remember, all of her information will be in the show notes. So you just go there and you'll be able to find it. And thank you for being here on this episode of Women Like Me, Stories in Business. And until next time, take care, everybody. Bye bye.